my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way, with the 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way, for they play football.
Evening, gentlemen. How we doing?
All good, Scotty. Yourself?
Magic, mate. Magic. Andy, yourself, pal. How you getting on?
Doing all right, mate. Doing all right. I'm just get one eye on this other fixture that's happening up the northeast of Scotland, and a big cheesy grin says it all, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. I've got one eye on it as well, my man. So apologies if I'm not always looking at the screen. You'll understand why. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4-Leaf Clover podcast post-match show. It was Celtic 2, Dundee 0. And let's get right into it, gentlemen. Let's have a look at the starting lineup, Andy.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Six changes to the starting lineup, mate. Brendan said after the Falkirk game that he probably wouldn't do that again. And he's done it again tonight, and it sort of showed, didn't it? Sort of in that first half, the lads, it wasn't a good watch.
It wasn't, mate. That starting lineup was actually leaked earlier on the day, and I thought it was a wind-up. I didn't think that was real, and if that was going to be the lineup tonight, I was going to be very, very surprised. And there you go. That was the actual team who started. Yang was a big surprise for me to have Yang in. I could see Palmer. I could see the point in Palmer. Yang, I just don't get it at all, man. But sorry, mate, I was just distracted there with something. But I think, we're talking about a squad, and you think that there's a lot of important games coming up. Obviously, this one tonight, you've got the semi-final on Saturday, and then you've got a European game next Tuesday. So you've got to put your trust in the players who are apparently good enough to be in your squad. So really, you should be looking to be all right against Dundee at home. I was a bit surprised there was quite a lot of changes in it. I wasn't expecting that many, but it is what it is. And I've got to say, I've always been behind Ralston, but for what I've seen in Ralston tonight, no for me, mate. No for me.
There was a few tonight, mate. To be fair, you've mentioned one, Yang for sure. Palmer really wasn't at the races either, mate. It was just one of them, and like we said, Paddy, 6 changes. Somebody actually tweeted me earlier and said it was leaked last night, the team. So let's hope Brendan gets to the bottom of that, because we don't need to go back to the Neil Lennon days when every team was getting leaked. But 6 changes, Paddy. What did you make it?
I was actually surprised, Scotty, because we were expecting 1 or 2. We obviously knew Edith's carrying a wee injury, which I think he's had a scan, and it's not as bad as I think. I think he's going to maybe be all right for the weekend. But I was actually surprised. But he did say, in fairness to him, pre-match, that there was a couple of lads carrying wee knocks. So again, maybe just didn't want to take the risk. Again, Calmack, he said, would be hopefully fit for Saturday, trying to get Carter Vickers to run out again to get more minutes into the leg. So I was a wee bit surprised at the lineup. I thought McCown would play again. I think he's might be cup tied on Saturday, so I had a feeling he would play. So I was a wee bit surprised, but again, as Scotty said, as Andy said there, do you know what, Palma and Yang, I just don't know. That first half, I know we'll get into it as we talk about the game, but what has the theme been for us since this season started? The theme has been the fringe players need to take their chance whenever they get it. So you've seen it a couple of times already, and there tonight. So, but no, I was actually surprised that there was so many changes. But as Andy says, we need to sometimes utilize the squad, and with the big game coming up, bigger game, I suppose you could say, on Saturday. But I'm always a great fan of play the game in front of you, play the game that's ahead of you, not worry about the one down the line. But job done anyway.
Aye, I think there was definitely one eye on the cup semi-final on Saturday for sure, with the thinking behind that starting lineup. But listen, Brendan's substitutions again got the job done. AJ came on, and I thought he was the man that changed the game for us. So let's get into it. There was a minute's applause right at the start of the game for Tommy Callaghan. We covered it on our last pod. Condolences to the family. Aye, so that's how we kicked off, and then a minute into the game, Andy, we nearly concede straight away. Dundee get a free kick, and it gets played in, a bit of pinball, and a outstanding save for Kasper Schmeichel stopped us from going behind.
Aye, great reflexes for Kasper. That was a bit of a shock. Normally at Celtic, it's straight out for the start, and at teams, and Dundee came right at us right for the start, and had us, I wouldn't say penned in, they had us there for a wee bit, but a great save for Kasper, and he's had quite a few this season, and people going about his weight and all that, but that doesn't seem to affect him in any way. He's absolutely fantastic with his feet and his hands. His reflexes are spot on. And if you didn't know what age, if his age wasn't mentioned, you wouldn't really be thinking about it at all. It would never come into the conversation because his ability is unquestionable.
Aye, for sure. And Paddy, some save for Kasper, eh?
Well, it's great, and what we've said too is, his levels of concentration. Sometimes easy maybe to sort of switch off just at the beginning of the game. You're expecting us to be on the front foot and stuff like that, So great reactions from him to see the danger. I thought we were a bit sloppy. I thought we were actually a bit sloppy the first couple of minutes, and that's what led to that wee spell of pressure on the edge of the box, But good save from Schmeichel, and just nice to see that he switched on.
Aye, certainly, mate. And after that, Andy, we had two chances through Kyogo in the space of a couple of minutes on the 4th minute and on the 7th minute. Very wasteful with both, and he should have done better with both as well, Andy.
Aye, Kyogo's an absolutely fantastic goal scorer, but he also misses a fair amount as well. Seeing you actually calculate how many out-edge chances that he misses, it's quite a lot. And he should be doing better there, mate. The two chances, certainly one in particular, should have been in the back of the net. I just couldn't believe that he missed it. An absolute sitter that he missed. And just not at that point, but I suppose as the game went on, you're kind of thinking, is it going to be one of the games where you just get loads and loads of chances and just can't seem to put it in the back of the net? But especially after Dundee having giving us a wee bit of a scare right at the start, and then you're thinking, right, let's get back into it. Two great chances. He's definitely going to do better with that.
Aye, and Paddy definitely left his shooting boots in the dressing room today, didn't he?
I was got it for him, absolutely got it for him, because we were trying to get a goal there towards the end, and we were just praying that he would maybe get one. We did, because he actually played well and did a lot of running, but. The thing about the two chances, like we were just saying, he'd actually done the hard part. I think there were two balls into the box that were quite hard. He did the hard part. They weren't easy chances to take down and get into the possession, but he had done the hard part both occasions. And it was just, especially the second one, you're just waiting to see the ball flying into the corner, and you're just like, what is he doing? How's he actually done that? It's actually harder to do what he's done, than miss it, or than score. So I just don't know. His shooting was a way off there, but as you say, we were exactly the same, Andy. We were sort of sitting thinking, I hope this is not going to be one of those nights where everybody has an off night and we don't eventually make the break. And
news just coming in from Pittodrie, lads, as you can see on the screen there. It has finished. Our title challengers, Aberdeen, have won by 2-1. Andy, what's your instant reaction to that, mate?
My instant reaction is I am just about to post a video on TikTok right now because I'm well prepared for this, mate. So as we speak, it is going up.
Brilliant. Paddy, 2-1 to Aberdeen. Looks like we have got a title challenge on our hands, and it's
Brilliant.
it's
You know what? It's
the-
one of those ones we
it's up the
couldn't
road.
lose, Scotty. We couldn't lose tonight. We were on a win-win there, no matter what happened. I was quite comfortable tonight. I would have taken any scoreline there. You know, as I say, the one for me was, you know, if it had been a draw, both teams dropping points would have been perfect. But again, I spoke to Andy about it, and pre-match, you know, there's 9 points. That's going to pile massive pressure on Mr. Clement. So all his talk and all his bullshit that he comes out with is just, it's going to be questioned now. Surely to God they're going to see. And this is the point about the figures that were released yesterday. I'm hearing stories that there was a massive boardroom row about what they were going to actually release. It's not exactly what's on the that's the figures they're putting out, but it could be a lot worse. But with him having been given a new contract there very recently, the pressure will be on him now. And if they do decide to make a change, that's going to cost them another few million to get rid of him. So absolutely delighted. As I say, we've said that before. Aberdeen will put up a challenge for a while. They just don't have the resources. They don't have the squad to challenge us over the course of a whole season. So they will fall away once things happen. So couldn't be better. Absolutely couldn't be better. Fantastic night.
Do you know what, Scott? They can't afford to sack him. They're already still paying Beale. They're paying Gio. They're still paying Gio's wages. And if they sack him, he's just signed an extension to his deal. They can't afford to. They've just put a loss of 17.2 million quid.
Yeah.
I mean, just take that and just let that process for a minute, because they've been losing money every single year since they've existed.
Yeah.
And it continues to roll on and roll on. Put it this way, Scotty, see if that mutant in a club, was your pet, you'd be taking it to the vet and just putting it down, because it's like visits to the vet, and he's just taking money off you, and he's like, it's costing you that, you're keeping it alive, and it's just, what's the point? Just let it go, lads, let it go. Number 2, alien ice cream is on its way.
And Tavernier there was on the screen looking very disappointed as well. So that was beautiful to see as well.
Nice.
Right, so let's get back to the main show in town, lads. The famous Glasgow Celtic winning. So Kyogo, like I said, had a couple of chances. Then a great ball in the 26th minute from Palmer. It's a lovely ball into Engels, and Engels has a shot and saved again by the goalkeeper. Yang tries a couple of wee silly things again, but let's just have a quick chat about this Yang character, Andy. Absolutely housing for me, man. I don't think he should be anywhere near a Celtic tap. And again, terrible tonight, man. Absolutely terrible.
I just find it hard to believe. Different positions, Scotty, right? When I'm going to mention a player, I'm going to mention, but you've got players like Yang that can keep a place in our squad, and they're letting players like Awata walk out the door, and he's absolutely smashing it down at Birmingham. How does that work? What is it to see in Yang that I don't get it, mate? I really don't get it. If we're looking at players to come in, players in our squad that are going to put the first team players under pressure to perform, because there's a chance they could be taking a place off them, and that's the type of player you've got, we're way behind. If Brendan sees that as a quality that's good enough for us, I'm sorry, but he's very, very much wrong there. The fact that he can actually get a place on our bench, never mind on our team, is shocking, mate, because he's absolute garbage.
Aye, and Paddy, we have spoke about this on the pod previously, that we want these players to come in and rip the jersey off these other players. And they don't seem to be doing it, mate, do they? That's another 2 starts. Awata, you've got me Awata on the brain now. Yang and Palmer. There's no way that they've came in there and ripped the jersey off anybody after that, have they?
No, not a chance. It just makes you wonder, like what it is. What exactly is it that they're seeing? What are they seeing in the training and in their everyday work? And what is it they see? Because I certainly don't see it on the field. And it is difficult. When you're coming in and you're getting a start here, you're getting 15 minutes at the end here. It is difficult to build up any kind of head of steam, but you expect to see a wee flash here or whatever. Like you just see you see the difference in the movement of the likes of Hatate and Johnston whenever they come into the team tonight. Within 2 minutes, they're already playing quicker, getting wide. I just don't see it. And I say we've been saying it since basically the season started that these guys they're watching Maida, they're watching Forrest, they're watching Kuhn. They're watching these guys, and I just don't see like how does Yang expect to displace anybody when he's playing like that? And there you are, big crowd at Celtic Park, perfect pitch, perfect night for a game. It was all there for him, and Palma too. And for the amount of play and the amount of possession that Palma got, especially in the first half, I think he put one sort of half decent ball across with the outside of his boot. That was about the height of it. This take a man on, he has no speed, then he gets wide, he hits the ball behind the goals, he can't even keep it in play, and a couple of efforts on goal, nowhere near the target and stuff. Just as Andy said, just nowhere near good enough. Absolutely nowhere near good enough to be, to even be like a fringe player. We surely must have younger player. We must have some younger players that would offer more than what Yang and Palma are offering at the minute. I don't singling players out, but we said again, Falkirk was a very similar to the Falkirk game in the first half of that cup tie. So I don't know what these guys are. As I say, I just don't know what Brendan sees. I don't know what he sees in training, because we're certainly not seeing that reflected on the pitch when they do get their opportunity. A bit like Haksabanovic. Remember, he was the same. Haksabanovic was. He seemed to be really good when he came on as a sub, but when he got a start, he was just a different player. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but Palma and Yang are fast becoming a bit of an enigma.
Yeah, they certainly are, mate. They certainly are. I'm smiling away here because I'm watching the replay of the beautiful Aberdeen goals going in as well, lads. So apologies if you think I'm laughing at anything else. It's just I'm laughing at them, to be honest with you. So the only sort of clear-cut chance came when, as you just mentioned there, Paddy, was when Palma put that beautiful ball in with outside his boot, and Yang just didn't get to it. So that was all that really happened in the first half. After that, we were sort of hot and cold, really, through the whole of the first half, and it ended Celtic 0, Dundee 0 at half-time. It was a tough watch, the first half. We did have all the possession. I think, Andy, you said at one point 81% possession or something like that we had.
Yes.
So we were all over them and stuff like that, but there wasn't really much happening in front of goal, and it was a tough watch. So let's move on to the second half. So we came out in the second half, Andy, a lot more quicker play, and Kyogo sort of broke past three players, got a shot off straight away, and it looked as though Celtic were starting to up the tempo in the second half.
Aye. I wasn't unhappy with Celtic's play in the first half. As I said, now we had plenty of possession and we'd created chances, so maybe we did need to kind of up the tempo a wee bit. Really, it came down to the fight, kind of the finishing. Talking about Palma as well, a lot of the time, I find his decision making is just baffling to me. When he could find it easier to get another player or try and at least pass it out, he tries to take mad shots on, and sometimes he's so predictable as well. But obviously, start of the second half, I just had a feeling I wasn't concerned that we were going to draw the game or anything like that. I was convinced that Celtic were going to come out and do the business in the second half, and certainly the way we started the second half, we looked more up for it.
Definitely. And Palma, a couple of minutes after that, Paddy, he tried a sighter as well. He made some space for himself on the edge of the box, and it was a good shot, actually, to be honest. It was the right foot curler. Tried to get it in, and a good save for the keeper, Paddy.
Well, I think that one shows you that they must have had a bit of flea in their ear from Brendan at half time about actually getting efforts on goal. You've all the ball outside the box, and you're you're creating plenty of chances and openings, but you're not working the goalkeeper. So he's obviously said to them, I want to see more. I want to see you making an effort or two on goal, because I think that was the first real save the goalie had to make. Good to see him taking a shot, and that's what I say. If Palma has that ability to do that, but as Andy said, this is what, especially in the first half, that's his decision making was just like, you just wonder what goes through his head sometimes. But definitely, we noticed a definite an uptick in the speed and the intensity at the beginning of the second half. So I think we can put that down to the fact that Brendan probably roasted them at half time and just told them it simply wasn't good enough and they needed to do more. We needed to move the ball quickly. We definitely needed to move it from one side to the other a lot quicker than we did in the first half. And I think in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, you could see that they were doing that.
Aye, definitely, mate. And then, as you said, it was looking quicker after that. And then on the 50th minute, just a minute later, Andy, Yang into Kyogo and some save again by the keeper. And it was a bit of pinball in the box after that. So, I thought their keeper certainly showed up in the second half, and he kept the score down. But Kyogo again, unlucky.
Aye, it seems to be a lot of times when oppositions come to Celtic Park, their keepers play absolute blinders, and it makes you go, he's a no bad keeper a minute, because that's a Yankee now. But aye, another opportunity gone, but obviously a good save for the keeper.
Aye, certainly was, my man. And then after that, Paddy, the changes were wrong. Ralston, who had a pretty poor game as well, got taken off, and AJ came on. Bernardo, who I thought was brilliant the night, broke up the play quite a bit, and his passing was good, his tackling was good, everything was good about his game, I thought. And I was quite surprised to see him going off instead of Engels. I thought Engels had another quiet game again. And then it was Palma who got taken off, and Maeda came on. And how Yang never get 10 off on that first lot of substitutions was baffling. But aye, what did you make of the 3 subs, Paddy?
Well, you're bang on, Scotty. Exactly. So we were thinking exactly the same. For a start, how did Yang manage to survive the first call? We'll call it a call. Yeah. But again, I suppose going back to the first half, we might be being too sore on the likes of Palma and Yang, because there were one or two others who weren't great either. Engels was amongst them. So was Ralston. So there was quite a few in the first half that weren't up to speed, and I think there was one or two that were very fortunate not to be hooked in the first. So you could see that he's given them. He said, "I'm giving you 10 minutes here. I'm going to give you 10-15 minutes to get your act together." And then he still wasn't pleased, so then he made the changes. And again, you can just see the difference as soon as those players come on. They just give the crowd a lift and everything, and they just lift they lift the level and they lift the intensity of everything. So the biggest surprise for me was to say we couldn't believe it, but we were screaming for Forrest to come on for Yang. We thought Palma and Yang should have been the two to go. So we were sort of dumbfounded when Yang managed to stay on, but he played a wee part in the first goal. So maybe maybe Brendan saw something that we didn't.
Aye, and that's what I'm just going to come on to now. So on the 60th minute, there was some good play by Yang, Andy, and he got the ball into the box, and our goal machine, Alistair Johnson, was there yet again. Another goal for AJ.
Fantastic finish and a really tight angle that he got that in it. Aye, as much as we're having a go at Yang, it was he done well. He done particularly well there, but AJ stepping up again, and as I said, a very acute angle, and just pokes it in the back of the net. And how many goals has he actually scored this season?
I don't know, but there's quite a few.
Aye, he's certainly up to his game, that's for sure. But that was a great finish shot.
Aye, he's really come on to a game this season, hasn't he, Paddy? He's stepped up, and you can see his leadership qualities, and with Brendan giving him the captaincy and things like that. So he's doing very, very well, Alistair Johnson.
Absolutely, he looks like more like the Johnson of old. I thought when he came back from injury last year, I thought he was a wee bit sluggish when he first came back, and probably was maybe a wee carryover from the injury that he took. But since this season, he's just bombed on, and this guy has the potential to be a long-term captain of the club. There's no question about that. he's got all the abilities and all the qualities, and you can see how much it means to him when he's wearing the armband. So no, great to see him. As I say, just he was the one. Whenever I saw the changes being made, him above anybody, I was just delighted to see him because I thought, right, we'll see a bit of urgency and a bit of drive now that he's on, especially down that right hand side. So brilliant play from Yang. He got a wee bit fortunate. The ball his cross kind of broke off a Dundee player, and it just slowed it up a wee bit for Johnson to be able to get in. But as Andy said, for a defender from that angle, you know, I mean, a striker you'd have been praising a striker getting that on target. But lovely finish, lovely control finish to keep it on target and score. And just to pick me up that we needed at the start of the second half.
He certainly was, my man. And then he get taken off, young Yang. He got taken off, and Jamesy Forrest came on. And then 4 minutes later, Kyogo gets pulled in the box, and it is a penalty to Celtic. And young Engels steps up yet again and puts the ball away. 2-0 Celtic.
Aye, a very cool finish for the penalty. Stonewall penalty, absolutely no question about it. And that wee man Kyogo in the right place at the right time. There's no doubt in Kyogo's talent and his movement. He's absolutely all over the place, and he's got defenders in his pocket. Just sometimes it doesn't quite work for him when it comes to his finishing. And as I said, I don't know if anybody's actually calculated up how many chances he's actually had in his time at Celtic, but I bet you it's a fair whack that he's actually no scored. So if he could sharpen that up a bit, can you imagine what his goal scoring record would be? He'd be one of the top scorers at the club, ever, because he certainly gets himself in great positions.
Aye, and good finish for Engels for the penalty, Paddy.
Aye, coolness personified again. Just the big lad has it. We talked about it. There was a wee bit of a delay. They were checking the VAR, which I don't understand, because the referee was in a perfect position to see the incident. So I don't know why somebody else has to look at it when the referee's seen it. You know, if he's got a good clear view and he saw the incident himself, why do they need to check it? What's the need of checking this? I think they were saying that there may have been a foul at the other end earlier on in the move or something, but I don't think that's what they were checking. I think they were just checking the penalty. They weren't checking a foul at the other end of the field. So I just don't understand what the delay was, because the referee was perfectly positioned to see it. So I don't understand why they need somebody else to look and say, yeah, you got that one right. You know, if he's seen the incident and it's a penalty, and when you saw the replays yourself, you know, it was a penalty. The guy pulled him around by the shoulder. You know what I mean? He was nowhere near the ball and pulled the man by the shoulder. It was a stonewall penalty. So, but good to see Big Engels at night. You know, he probably was struggling, and we were just sort of thinking, you know, maybe his confidence is not that high at the minute or whatever, but he just stroked it away like a legend. You know what I mean? So brilliant finish again.
Aye, and I think that wee goalkeeper saved quite a few penalties. So, aye, it was definitely a good penalty. Then we took Cameron Carter-Vickers off and brought Scales on, just not to risk the big man any further. He got 76 minutes in. And then there was a strange VAR check on the 90th minute for a penalty against Celtic for a handball in the box, but it wasn't given, thankfully. And then the last chance of the game, Andy, Maeda should have scored. AJ again, great ball in for the right-hand side. And Maeda was at the back post and he headed it over.
Yep, that was the last opportunity we had. But that's Maeda figure in it. You know, he's either scoring a worldie, or when the most simplest kind of opportunities come, it ends up about 40 million fit out of the bar, or you know, it's smacking the directors right in the face, or whatever. It's getting up the tunnel and just mad stuff. It's landing one of the supporters' buses outside. And do you know what, mate? It didn't matter. It really didn't matter, because we were winning that game, and another result the night as well. So the two results combined just made it a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.
Yes, it certainly is. And let's not be too harsh on Maeda. The game was over, Paddy, as Andy said. So 3 points, Celtic win, Celtic 2, Dundee 0, and we are done. Some fantastic results elsewhere tonight. Let's just have a wee look at the league table now. So Celtic and Aberdeen are now 9 points clear of the teams that are struggling down in third place and beyond. Andy, Paddy, that is just beautiful viewing.
Lovely to see. Brilliant. Even just if you look at the goal difference as well, like we're stretching out ahead. We're well ahead of Aberdeen, who are 4 goals to the good of Rangers as well. So that's just, I just don't see how that. I don't see how they can. I don't see how they're going to spin this one. It'll be interesting to see the fallout from it, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to spin this one. All the pre-match talk and this, that, and the other about Aberdeen and about what they've done and who's had the best start and all the rest of it. That all counts for nothing. It's down to results, and there they are. They've gone to somebody said they've only scored. I this might be wrong, but somebody said they've only scored 1 goal away from home this season. Is that right?
That's 2 now.
I heard that stat the other day. To play 10 games in the league, and that tonight is only their 2nd goal away from home in 10 games.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And I know we don't want to focus too much on them, but that's I can't see how that's going to do anything other than pile massive pressure on. They've got the semi-final now this weekend. That's another defeat, and that is absolutely unthinkable. Absolutely unthinkable. I think even now tonight,
Paddy.
Say again, Andy.
I think Motherwell won tonight.
Aye, but they've got this Rangers have this semi-final now at the weekend. They'll have a semi-final as well. So like I just don't know. I just don't see it at all. I mean, when you like the Beale was under pressure for less. Van Bronckhorst was under pressure for less. They certainly weren't as. I don't see Rangers as being they weren't as poor under Van Bronckhorst as they are now. There's absolutely no way that they were as poor under Van Bronckhorst as they are now. Beale's team possibly, but certainly not under Van Bronckhorst. I think he's the one that can count himself most unlucky of the whole lot of them, because I think he had the best. I think he had the best team of the lot going. But this guy, and this is what I love about it. I love to see I like to see how he spins things, because he comes out with this crackpot stuff, and they seem to lap it up. They just seem to lap it up. But when you look at that league table, for a club like Rangers to be 9 points adrift of 2 different teams after only 10 games, mind-boggling.
It's beautiful.
Aye, sorry, Scotty. The thing is, Baltimore was the man that says, come October, November, you're going to see the real Rangers. Yes, we have, and we see the real Rangers. Yeah. Honestly, he is absolutely mad. I'm sitting watching him on the telly now, and see the eyes. He's on disco biscuits, man. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man.
The guy's been sold a pup. He's been absolutely sold a pup. He was promised this and he was promised that, and it's they've actually gone backwards. It's not even a rebuild. It's a total. They're pulling down absolutely everything, every aspect of it. And I think he's been sold a pup. And whoever thought that was a wise choice to offer him another deal, I don't know what the thinking was there. So I don't know. Is he on $3 million a year or $2 million a year, whatever he's on? They give him another contract there. Like, that's going to cost them if they do decide to get rid of him. You know what I mean? And I can't see how. I haven't seen anything so far because we've been straight on, but I can't see how there were already calls for to consider the position before tonight. I can't see how that doesn't do anything else other than just build. And again, they're going into another massive weekend, a semi-final. If something is to happen to them there, I don't know. I don't see how he survives the like of that.
You might not even see the weekend, lads. And we will be here on Friday night with you again for a full podcast, because we only had a little post-match one tonight. So we might have some more news for you on Friday night. We're definitely back. Jerry, who's at the game tonight, will be with us as well. Hopefully Davey as well. We might see Davey back. So there might be 5 of us on Friday night at 8 o'clock UK time. We'll be back. We'll have some segments for you. And we'll be talking about that very said semi-final on Saturday. I believe it's a 5:30 kickoff. Is that right, lads?
Yeah.
5:30 kickoff on Saturday. So we'll be there for we'll we'll have your post-match as well on Saturday. So we'll be with you quite a few times, Friday night, Saturday, and that's us, lads. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for all your comments this evening. And I know that all of you, like us, have enjoyed this nice little Wednesday night. So make sure you get slagging them off, get them it stinking, and we'll see you on Friday night. Cheers.
Here we are, guys.
On the hoops.
There you go, mate. I tried to get that done.